Okay, everyone. This is Cynthia Okonkwo with HR by Namtique. I know it's a bit late on a Sunday evening, but I still wanted to come on and spend a little bit of time with you because I ran across an article that I found interesting, and I thought you would find it interesting too. So I want to take a few minutes to just kind of go through it and dissect it and see where do we go from here. So, for those of you who have been on my channel before, I welcome you back. For those of you who are new, welcome to you for the first time. I'm glad that you're here. And please do come back often, share, like, and subscribe. And be sure to visit my site, HR by Namtique. I'll be putting a link in the notes once I release the video. But we're going to get started. So I recently ran across an article that is a Fast Company article, and it is on the job search process. And it came out the end of April of 2024 in their work life section, and I will also leave the link to the full article under the in the video description, the live description as well. But the title of the article is "It's Not You. Finding a New Job Has Gotten Harder. These three reasons explain what's going on." So, for a subtitle, it says that AI and layoffs have made for a more competitive market in which employers are being picky. So I definitely want to highlight some things here. It starts off by reassuring you that if you are struggling to find a new job, you are not alone. And it also showcases a couple of gentlemen. One who is 59, who says that he had been in sales, and he says that he has sent out 1,000 resumes since he was laid off from his sales job. And he said he estimates that he's heard back from about 1% of those, and he's just flabbergasted about how difficult the job search landscape has become. You know, we all had gotten so accustomed to the great resignation, that in employers struggling to find qualified, engaged applicants who wanted to work for someone else, that I think it's a bit of a shock about what's going on now. So, in addition to the gentleman who's 59 years old who has been laid off, sent out 1,000 resumes, only heard from about 1% of those, and many of those have been rejection letters. So, um, the article also featured a gentleman by a gentleman who's 29 years old. So he's about half the age of the first gentleman. The 29-year-old man he finished his completed his master's program in December of 2023 in research design and analysis. And he would love a remote data analysis job, but he said the job market has been so tough that he's even started applying for just any job that's nowhere related to his field of interest, just to get income coming in. Now, first of all, this article did not indicate the area where the markets where either one of these gentlemen live. So I don't know if they are in um, large, if they live in metropolitan areas or maybe some smaller job markets that may not have the number of opportunities that some other very large labor markets may have. But at any rate, I can tell, even as an HR, I can tell as an HR professional and a hiring manager myself, that because my team handles recruitment for um, five, let's see, about five locations in the metropolitan Atlanta area, and maybe as far two of the locations are about 2 hours outside, an hour and a half to 2 hours outside of Atlanta. Well, one is about yeah, about 2.5 hours closer to Augusta, and we can see in our jobs with assisting hiring managers with managing their recruitment process. We can see we started seeing, I would say, around the first part of 2024 that the job market landscape was changing, because in 2021, I believe it was, until well into maybe the beginning of 2023, um, that it, and I would actually say late 2020 until well into the beginning of 2023, we saw a big difference in the number of applicants that we would get, like for an administrative coordinator position, which is kind of it's a general type of position that provides like admin support and what have you to either executives or department heads or an entire department. And practically every work unit or department within, I would say department instead of work unit, across our organization probably has at least one or two administrative coordinators. Um, we would get 300 or more applications for one admin coordinator position. And it isn't a very highly paid position, because the minimum pay for the position is right under 40,000. So, that's not a whole lot. And we would see a lot of applicants or a lot of candidates who were selected. They would counter somewhere in the 50s or what have you, and depending upon their experience, their exposure professionally, and their how well they interviewed, they may get the mid 50s, or they probably could negotiate during that time up to like the mid 50s, or somewhere in that particular salary range. However, now or but that was before the pandemic. However, during that stretch of late 2020, early 2021, until well into the first quarter of 2023, we sometimes wouldn't even get 100 applicants for an admin coordinator position. Now that number is ticking back up, and for other positions as well. So I've seen that we have not had to remain as creative with finding talent. It seems like the talent is starting slowly to find its way back to us. And the other thing that's very attractive about our organization too is that our organization still offers a pension retirement plan. And those are very few and far between these days. So that's attractive. And then of course you can further your education after a certain amount of time with the organization. You can further your education in almost any major other than law, medicine, dentistry, or something like that. Otherwise, you can further your education for free through our tuition assistance program. So that's also a big draw for us as well. So there are definitely shifts that are going on. So this article says that plenty of job seekers have been expressing frustration to a career coach who was featured in this article that a lot of strongly qualified clients are having a hard time getting responses for interviews and moving on to the next round. And so it is harder to get a job offer these days. And one way that we're seeing that manifest is that the timelines are a little longer. It used to take new workers, let's say during the first quarter of 2024, it took new workers a little longer to find jobs, according to this new survey that ZipRecruiter um, recently conducted, and the in first quarter 2024, it took about 9.5 weeks for a job seeker to land a job after they launched their job search. Back in fourth quarter of 2023, that was down to, let's see, about 8 weeks. And so you know that each day that you go without getting an interview invite or what have you, it can be very, very stressful and make you feel very question the strength of the job market, or not question the strength of the job market, but question how long it will take you to actually find a job. So what this survey outcomes and this article are saying is that during the Great Resignation, a lot of employers, they overhired because a lot of people left their jobs, and then the economy the economy picked up in a lot of ways because people were ordering from home and were ordering online, anything from groceries to clothes to housewares to big ticket items. A lot of people were setting up home offices. A lot of people were starting new businesses that created a high demand for um, high ticket, like, computers, laptops, office equipment, office furniture, things like that, as we all learned to learn and work from home. So what they are saying is that even though this seems a bit strange because we're 4 years out from the pandemic, about 2.5 years out from the start of the great um, or the ending sort of slowdown of the Great Resignation. And so that even that 9.5 weeks, according to this article, is historically short and near pre-pandemic levels. So an economic research director for North America, Mr. Nick Bunker, who is with in the Indeed hiring lab, he said that the rate at which people are voluntarily leaving their jobs has slowed down as well, which suggests that it might be taking job seekers a longer time to find a job, or there's now a fear of leaving because the word is getting around that it's harder to find a job. So people may not be as quick to jump ship right now from their current job, especially with the interest rates being high and inflation being high. People may make the decision to stay put a little longer where they are and kind of see where the market is going. And then we had the great mismatch because employers were hiring so quickly and the labor pool was so scant, if you will, compared to what they had been experiencing before the Great Resignation started, that a lot of employers have are anticipated or suspected to have just kind of accepted whatever talent was out there instead of making sure that there was a good match. And we found that some with my current employer as well, that we've had some people who just have not worked out as well as you would have thought looking at their resumes. And so it it is, the market does seem to be kind of re-correcting itself. But the unemployment rate is still good, around 3.8% at the time of the writing of this article. I didn't check before I went live to see what the current unemployment rate is, but the jobless claims and have fallen to their lowest level in 9 weeks at the time of the writing of this article. And each month, the jobs report shows that there are a lot of jobs still being added to the economy. So this is the best job market in 54 years, and it's just that we're having to navigate it a little bit differently if we are job seekers. So, some experts say that companies and workers are having a hard time because of the great mismatch meeting each other's needs right now, because job seekers were so had become so accustomed to themselves and others around them easily landing jobs over the past 3 years, that now that employers have become once again starting to become a bit pickier about the talent who they hire onto their team. It's another bit of a shock, if you will, and I definitely can understand and respect that. So there's also a spillover from layoffs, because there have been quite a few layoffs since since November, December of 2023 until right around the end of the first quarter of 2024. So that means that there's more talent, more available, qualified talent that is in the labor market now, and so it's making job searching a bit more competitive. And then with the advent, well, not the advent, but AI becoming more popular and people developing more of a comfort level with AI and being able to use AI to help them with their job search, that's another thing that's helping to level the playing field, the job search playing field, because people are getting help from AI to help boost their resumes. The issue with that, though, which I'm a little concerned about, is that people may not be taking the time to really look at what AI is spitting out there onto their for a resume, and making sure that their qualifications are accurately represented, if you will, by AI. So I would just encourage you, if you are a job seeker, please make sure that you read what AI recommends that you include in your resume, and make sure that it is an accurate representation of your qualifications, so that you don't find yourself in a potentially embarrassing situation or career damaging situation later, because it's thought that you may have misrepresented or not been honest on your resume when you apply for a job. So, as we look on, going on through the article, it goes on to say that post COVID-19 hiring processes have also changed some as the labor market shifts back from an employee's market to an employer's market. And right now, we're still, even though we're 4 years out from the pandemic, it was such that was such a traumatic event for the world, business wise, personally, professionally, that right now we're using the things that occurred in, during, and around the time of the pandemic as a measuring stick. And so everything is kind of like, okay, right after the pandemic, this is what we were able to do. But those times are changing. It's slowly getting back to where it was pre-pandemic. Remember, a lot of employers are having their employees come back into the office, at least to a certain extent. Some of them full time back in the office, no remote days. And so that's what some experts are saying is also impacting some people, because some people can't afford to go back into the office full time because they may have childcare issues. They may have adult care issues if they're caring for aging parents or an older child who has disabilities, and that care is so expensive, along with the cost of everything else from gasoline to um, utilities and food, that some people rather just stay in a lower paying job and be able to not have that extra expense of a commute every day, putting wear and tear on the vehicle, keeping it full of gas for the commute, and then also having to absorb another expense for caring for paying for care for a family member. They feel, okay, we just need to just kind of stay the course right now, stay where we are. So that is something else to think about as well. So what can we do if we're in an active job search and it's taking longer than we expected to land that job? Well, first of all, this article says that networking is one. First, making sure that you actively network with your current contacts, say on LinkedIn and other professional networks. Make sure you keep in contact with them, but also making it a point to actively add to your networking circle. Engage with new people who you have not connected with yet. I know I've been getting a lot of notifications from LinkedIn, a lot of invites from people on LinkedIn who are wanting, who weren't connections before, but are asking, reaching out and offering the opportunity to connect. And I really enjoy that. So make sure and stay active in professional forums that are related to your field of interest. You, like right now, I have a couple of questions on LinkedIn that I plan to go in on tomorrow and respond to, because as a member of a couple of the professional forums, I often get LinkedIn will send me questions, HR related questions to respond to. And so that's another great way for you to prove your knowledge and the value that you can potentially bring to a new team by helping those who are trying to come up behind you, and also just networking with other colleagues on your same level or higher, to let them see that, hey, this person has a wealth of knowledge in our field of expertise, and that can also open doors for you. Remember, a lot of people who find jobs, I can't remember the percentage, they land their jobs even though their job may have never been advertised. So that's very encouraging. So definitely actively research, actively network. Then also stay patient. I know it's hard when you're trying to make ends meet and what have you, and want to find another job. And that's the other thing that this article talks about too. A lot of job seekers are not accepting the offers that employers are extending to them, because they may not think it's worth to give up their remote work. And I've seen that happen on my job too. Not enough of a salary increase for them to feel that it's worth their giving up, at least giving up some of their, if not all of their remote work flexibility. So that's something else to think about. So, but be patient. Make sure you remain honest throughout the process, and know that if you switched jobs 2 years ago, know that that baseline is out of date. You may have applied for a job one day, or probably within a month or less had another job, but the research shows that that baseline is out of date. What we saw a couple of years ago during the Great Resignation was an anomaly, and it doesn't mean that the economy is stagnating. Just again means that it's recorrecting itself. And um, so just remain realistic as well so that hopefully you can kind of temper your patience. So those are the three things: networking, being patient, and being realistic. I'm going to add two more: never giving up. Number four, never give up. And number five, actually, I should make number four, reinvent yourself. And a lot of times people misconstrue what it means to reinvent themselves. It doesn't have to be earth shattering. You can take a self directed course on managing Outlook or Microsoft Office. Or these days, the more you know about AI, the better. Writing prompts and especially find out how AI pertains, how it operates or can operate within your field of interest. And the more you learn about that and how to manipulate machine learning, if you would, by developing great prompts, what have you, you are increasing your value to the job market and to potential employers, and you are making yourself much more marketable. So always be ready to reinvent yourself, even in very small ways, because it can make a difference. And then also, as I said, number five, make sure that you don't quit. Because one thing is for certain: if you quit, you're never going to find another job. It typically is not going to just drop out of the sky in your lap. So just keep that in mind as well. And then make sure that you remain consistent and document your job search as well. I have a job search tracking spreadsheet that I developed that I've been using for years. And I will link that. Let me make myself a note, because if I don't write it down, I won't. So that's the job search tracker. I'm going to share a link to it in description in the description of this live so that you all can have access to it. It is free to you, and something that I hope you'll find useful in your job search as well. Then let's see, did we go over everything? And then last but not least, before we close out, think of other ways that you can monetize your knowledge, skills, and abilities to bring in some additional income. Like go on some of these sites like TaskRabbit and others that will Thumbtack, Fiverr, and others. And also, if you have your own website or what have you, then advertise your skills there. If you have a YouTube channel, advertise your skills there. There's always going to be a market for any and every type of knowledge, skill, and ability. And if you can really get the word out there and develop earn a strong customer base and referrals, you can at least be able to maintain a healthy level of income while you're waiting to land your next job. And even after you land your next job, there is another article that I read recently that said that job seekers need to layer jobs and take advantage if they are working 9 to 5. Like the great thing, if you are working remotely, even if you have a 9 to 5 and you're working remotely, if you can normally stop working at 5 or 5:30, and you don't have to have a commute home or commute to another job, then you can use that extra time to get in some um, some side hustle income that you may be able to do remotely. So never ever stop figuring out additional ways to monetize your knowledge, skills, and abilities. Then also, I wanted to share with you too another great way to reinvent yourself, and maybe not so much reinvent yourself, but find a way or reinvent the way you share the knowledge of your knowledge, skills, and abilities, your qualifications, is to have your own website or an online career portfolio where you can showcase some of your best work. And if you don't have examples of your work, make short videos, 3 to 5 minute videos that you can upload to your own website. I mean, you can create a website for free on a lot of platforms, and you can place them under a heading. Like if you're a programmer, just explain your programming expertise, how you got into the field, and some of your best work, and that way you'll be able to reach and share the link to your online website or career portfolio in your cover letter or on your resume in the header of your cover letter or your resume, so that employers can just conveniently click on it, go over to your website, and see how you share your best work. And you would not believe how much that will help you as far as your value to the market. So just some quick ideas. Remember that I do offer one-on-one job search readiness sessions. I'll include that link in the description for this live as well. And I have self-study online, self-paced training and coaching packages as well, where I would be more than happy to help you, and I would be honored to play a part in your successful job search journey, because my goal is to help you to live your very best career life. So that's it for now. As always, I wish you success in your career. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Come back often. And I'll see you during the next live or the next time you check out a video when I post.